The Golden State Warriors were just eliminated from the NBA play-in tournament, missing the playoffs for the second year in a row, and this is the first time we have seen the Golden State Warriors in the Stephen Curry era miss the playoffs when Stephen Curry has played at an all-star level and played for most of the season. And today I want to talk about Steph Curry and the season that he had this year, because Steph Curry is always going to be one of the best players I've ever seen, and it's always interesting to talk about him. But before we do get into today's video, I've noticed that about 67% of you guys that watch my videos happen to not be subscribed. You happen to fall into that 67%, or you happen to be new and like what you see, feel free to like, subscribe, hit notification bell to be notified whenever I release a video. I make videos to take elements from film essays and apply them to basketball. I also make videos covering the NBA draft and high school basketball as well. So if any of those things are of an interest to you, this is the channel for you. Let's try to get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. I don't know if you guys know this, but likes do go a long way in more people finding my video, so leaving one will be much appreciated. But with that being said, let's get right into the video. I do want to get this out of the way. People are gonna slander Steph Curry because the Warriors missed the playoffs. And while I don't think it's justified or Steph's fault that the Golden State Warriors did end up missing the playoffs, people just gotta let that slander happen. When you're as good as Steph Curry, it's just gonna be natural to have your fair share of haters. Just ignore it, don't interact with them, and don't give those haters what they want, which is to get you mad and have you interact with them. But with that out of the way, I do want to start talking about Steph Curry and the season that he had. This season, Stephen Curry averaged 32 points per game, 5.5 rebounds per game, and 5.8 assists per game on 48.2, 42.1, 91.6 shooting splits. He had a really good 65.52 shooting percentage, which is actually really insane considering his average distance on a field goal attempt is 19.3 feet. He averaged a career high in points per game, rebounds per game, free throw, field goal, and three-point attempts and makes per game. He led the league in scoring for the second time in his career. He also led the league in total three-pointers made at 337. What makes that even more impressive is the fact that he did this in only 63 games. He did miss 9 games this season. He would be on pace for 385 three-pointers if he played the full season, which would be the second most ever for a single season, ahead of James Harden. He would be on pace for 439 three-pointers if it were a regular full season of 82 games, which would be the most ever for a single season, ahead of himself. He also had some big games this season as well: 62 points on 78.82 shooting percent against the Portland Trail Blazers, 57 points on 82.62 shooting percent against the Dallas Mavericks, 49 points on 80.62 shooting percent in under 30 minutes against the OKC Thunder, and those are just a few of the insane games that Steph Curry had this season. The Warriors would finish with a 39-33 record, which was 8th in the conference before the play-in tournament. And despite missing the playoffs due to the play-in tournament where they would lose in the battle for the 8th seed with Memphis, I think that Steph was really impressive this year, and what he was able to accomplish was insane. His second best scorer this season was Andrew Wiggins. Now, Andrew Wiggins, in fairness, did have a pretty solid season for his standards. He was a near 19 point per game scorer and was actually playing good defense, and his efficiency was pretty solid as well. The next closest scorer to Andrew Wiggins was Kelly Oubre, who missed time with injury, and Jordan Poole, who played in 51 games this season. They also had James Wiseman, who does have promise, I will admit that, but was clearly a project this year and also missed time with injury. I like JTA, I think he's solid, and I'm happy that he got the contract that he did, but he's not the biggest help in the world. Draymond had a great passing season, arguably the best passing season of his career, and he did the Draymond things that make him such a good player. However, the point is that this wasn't an ideal supporting cast around Steph Curry, because again, despite Andrew Wiggins' improvement as a player, when he's your second best scorer on the team, that means you're probably going to have to do a lot of carrying. Add on top of this, Steph Curry did miss time with injury himself, and it makes sense why they missed the playoffs. If Steph wasn't on this team, they still would have missed the playoffs, but it wouldn't be because they lost in the play-in tournament. It would be because they would be in the hunt for the first overall pick. So again, given the circumstances, I don't think missing the playoffs should take away from what Steph did this season. I would compare what Steph Curry did this season to Batman the Animated Series Season 4, in many people's opinion the worst of the 4 seasons, due to the character redesigns that were viewed as downgrades for the most part compared to the previous 3 seasons. The same way the cast around Steph Curry is viewed as a downgrade for the most part compared to most of his previous seasons in the league. However, Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill are still doing awesome things as Batman and Joker, the same way Steph was still doing awesome things as a basketball player this season. Maybe even a certain cast member saw a major improvement, and maybe even we saw a few historical and memorable moments, whether that be the sad and wild story of Mad Love or a 62-point game against another great point guard. The point is that while Season 4 of Batman the Animated Series may not be the best, it's still a fun season to watch. The same way that the Warriors didn't have the best season this year, but Steph was still very fun to watch and made them very watchable. If you can get talented people to work on a project, then you can make great work out of anything. If you put a great basketball player on an average team at best, they can still make greatness despite having the lack of talent around them. Batman the Animated Series isn't the all-time great show that it is without Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill voicing Batman and Joker, in my opinion. The Golden State Warriors aren't even close to any of the success that they have without Steph Curry. And take time to appreciate what Steph Curry has done in his career, because what he's done in his career is not normal. From a statistical standpoint, putting up numbers that are better than what teams were doing as a whole shooting-wise only a few years ago is insane. Shattering the record books, it's just unheard of kind of production we've seen. Like Ray Allen's 3-point shooting record lasted for like a year until Steph came and then broke it again, and then because of the trend he set, more people started passing Ray Allen for that single season mark. And again, a lot of that is because of kind of the way Steph Curry changed the game. From a tape standpoint, he's just doing things that don't seem possible, taking shots that just don't seem possible. He has a combination of a handle, 3-point shooting range, off-bounce creating, and off-ball movement that make him a threat before he even crosses half court. He isn't the biggest freak athlete, yet he's more feared than almost all the freak athlete stars in the league. And that says something about how good he is. He is the focus on defense for the opposing team. Like, he's that special. Teams were willing to leave guys like Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant open to make sure Steph doesn't get an easy look. And that tells you how special Steph Curry is, if you're willing to leave those other guys kind of more open just to try and stop him. Steph Curry, again, just revolutionized the game, and he's the best shooter ever. I've been saying that probably since 2015 because of the fact that not only is he hitting a lot of 3-pointers, it's the way he hits these 3-pointers. He's not just taking spot-up threes and standing in the corner or doing a bunch of off-ball stuff. It's not just about that. He's creating his own 3-pointers off the dribble. He's taking difficult threes. He's taking deep 3-pointers and doing a bunch of crazy stuff. And he still remains highly efficient and is outproducing some of the other best shooters to ever do it, despite taking way more difficult shots than all of them. And that's what makes him a special player, the best shooter ever, and one of the best point guards ever. He's a better passer than he gets credit for. The assist numbers don't tell the full story, and honestly, assists per game aren't the be-all and end-all when it comes to evaluating greatness in point guards, especially when they are as transformative as Steph Curry. There will never be another Steph Curry, so appreciate him while he's still here.